So Jeff, how'd the group look overall on the first day? What stood out to you?
We were all right. We were all right. Got a lot of new faces and working a lot of people. So just normal first day, frustrations. But our kids were very focused and our effort was fantastic. And that's all you can really ask for. But yeah, we got a ways to go, but I was very proud of them.
It seems like on the defensive side in particular, you have a lot of veteran guys returning. Does it make it a little bit easier to hit the ground running on that unit?
It does up front. The corner position is a position that we've got to replace a lot of people. We took a really big hit there because we lost 4 spots there. But we got some great reps today. And but yeah, to your point, our up front, all those guys are returning. Ken has played forever at safety, and Elliott played a ton last year as well. We just got to get some corner reps. A lot of that's got to get. I'd say that's where our biggest focus on defense is.
It was your first practice in this new era without Frank and Rashad and some of the other seniors. What was it like being out there with these new guys?
Frank was here, and I told him it was just like last year during spring. He was just standing around watching. So nothing's different so far. That's what we did last spring. But yeah, just him not being the team meeting, him not being in the front row, it's different. We had those 2 kids, right beside each other in team meetings wearing 0 for 4 straight years for me. So there'll be other guys step up. There'll be different people step up. But yeah, Frank was an unbelievable player for us, and there's no doubt we will miss him.
Do you have to nudge some certain guys towards leadership roles, or do they kind of figure that out on their own?
Leaders want to be leaders. If you got to nudge somebody to lead, they're not leaders. There's nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of guys that, they're followers, and that's okay as long as you're following a really good leader. So if you got to nudge them, those aren't leaders. Leaders, there's not too much to leading, honestly. You got to want to do it. You have to be able to communicate, and what you communicate has to make sense and be right. And I know that sounds pretty simple, but it's really not that complicated if you are born with an inclination to want to lead.
With Ken Robinson in particular, how's his role in that way different? I know Rashad was kind of the voice of that group for a long time.
Yeah, that's just what people like to say, because the guys that have the loudest voice usually seem like they are the leaders. Ken has always led. He's not as vocal as Rashad, to your point, but Ken has always led. He's just more of a quiet, soft-spoken leader by example, but Ken's always led.
How about the on-the-field part for him? I know we're going to talk to him a bit today. What do you expect for him going forward?
A kid that looks like he's not doing anything but always making plays. He's the most smooth, effortless. He looks like he's loafing at all times, and he's just he's the old man at basketball that you don't think he can do anything out there, and you look up in the stat sheet's just filled up. He's just steady, and he's a way better athlete than you believe he is. He just moves so effortlessly. Sometimes you overlook him.
You guys, this week is your first week of spring, and then you guys will be spring break next week. So what are you kind of hoping to see this week?
Well, there's no pads, so there's a lot of learning and just kind of teaching, the kids how we practice, and that kind of stuff is always a transition. So installs, the guys that were young that played quite a bit last year, time to step up. Who's going to, take the place of Cephas? All those obvious guys. We've got to find people go in their spots, and it'll probably be some of our younger guys that it's time for them to just evolve a little bit.
Are any of these transfers, have you seen any of these transfers, not on the practice field, but have come in here and all seem like they've picked up on the culture already, and it was just like, okay, kind of keeping your eye on any one of them that has kind of stood out in these early weeks?
I wouldn't be ready to put a name on anybody just yet. I've got some trending in that direction. I just think it's too soon to put that out there, because then there'll just be a letdown because the expectation will become so high. But we do practice uniquely different, and that takes some time. I really like how we're on year 5 here. Our staff, there's just a lot of us been together for a long time, and a lot of these guys now were the only coach they've ever had in college. And it's just, I know it's a very overused word, but we have a very good culture of how we practice. and how we take care of each other while we're competing. So, not ready to put any names, but those guys they're all glad to be here, and we're glad to have them so far. But I'm not ready to put a name out just yet.
What is it about the way you guys practice that you say it's so unique?
We're just really different. I mean, just the way we do it, and I'll just leave it at that.
I think Oscar Cardenas is the other guy we're going to talk to today. He's mentioned kind of want to transform his body a little bit, get into more of an NFL prospect kind of shape. What sort of progress report would you put on him at this point?
An A+. I mean, he really looked good today. I mean, he made some catches today he couldn't have made last year. I mean, he's really looks good. Now, he's probably going to really enjoy spring break. He might even have a six-pack now. I mean, he looks really good.
He's the most experienced guy you have on that offense as well. Does he take in some of that leadership role on as well?
He always has. I mean, he's been in that single digit for a minute now, so he's always been that guy. So another guy like Ken, very similar people in how they lead. They're not just the loudest, but they have always led. They're leading in a more selfless manner, but he's a leader for sure. Thank you all.